Save your singing for Davy Jones, you jagabats. It's a hard wind coming.
The man speaks true. You lot weigh anchor. As for the rest, half on the foremast and half at the main. Let's outrun this hurricane.
Assassin's Creed Black Flag put you at the helm of a ship named the Jackdaw and asked a simple question. What if the hero of this story didn't care about being a hero at all? Edward Kenway isn't chosen, isn't destined, isn't particularly interested in the Assassin Brotherhood's grand philosophy. He's a Welsh farmer's son who wants money, status, and a life better than the one he was born into, and he'll wear a Templar's coat or an assassin's hood, whichever gets him there faster. 13 years later, Black Flag Resynced rebuilds that story from the keel up. A new anvil engine, reworked stealth and combat, an officer system for the Jackdaw, expanded arcs for Blackbeard and Stede Bonnet, and 6 hours of new material woven into the original's bones. It's still the Golden Age of Piracy. It's still an open, hungry ocean. But it's also a case study in exactly how you revisit something people already loved without breaking it. Every Assassin's Creed protagonist before Edward joined the Brotherhood because it aligned with something they already believed. Edward joins because it's useful, and stays conflicted about it for the entire game. He's not fighting for freedom in the abstract. He's fighting to become a man of quality, to prove something to a wife and a father-in-law who never thought he'd amount to anything. That's a much messier engine than duty or destiny. It's the kind of ambition that looks like virtue right up until you count what it costs the people standing next to you. Peaky Blinders runs on that exact fuel. Tommy Shelby, played by Cillian Murphy, is a World War I veteran who returns to Birmingham and starts climbing, bootlegging, race fixing, gun running, always framing each move as strategy rather than villainy, always one deal away from the respectability he's chasing. The show is fascinated by how easily ambition launders itself into principle when you're the one narrating your own story. Tommy tells himself he's protecting his family. The body count around him tells a different story. What makes the show land is that it never lets Tommy off the hook, even as it makes him magnetic. Season after season, he trades people for position, a wife, a brother's trust, his own peace of mind. And each trade is dressed up as necessity. He's never quite a monster and never quite redeemed. He's a man who mistook accumulation for arrival, and who keeps discovering, too late, exactly who paid for the difference. That's the same bargain Edward Kenway is making with every job he takes for whichever flag pays best. Charisma doing the work that conscience should be doing instead. Take away the assassinations, the fetch quests, even the story missions entirely, and Black Flag still works, because the ocean itself is the main character. The Jackdaw isn't a means of transport between objectives. It's a mood, a rhythm, a sense of scale that most open-world games never bother chasing. Resynced knows this too, which is why so much of its overhaul is invisible. Better water, better weather, better feel. Somewhere out there, another game figured out the exact same thing and stripped away everything else to prove it. Sea of Thieves is built almost entirely around the sensation of simply being on the water. There's no main story demanding your attention, no map icon telling you where to go next, just a ship, a crew of up to 4, an open ocean that rewards curiosity over efficiency. You sail toward a storm because it looks interesting. You chase a distant sail because you're bored. The game trusts that this, on its own, is enough. What sells it is the texture. Waves that actually behave like waves. Weather that can turn a lazy afternoon into a fight for the ship's survival. A crew that has to physically coordinate sails, wheel, and cannons rather than delegate everything to a menu. Developer Rare originally prototyped the game as something else entirely, a spy game under the codename Athena before landing on pirates and discovering that the ocean itself was the real hook. It's the purest distillation of what made Black Flag's naval section so beloved. Not the destinations, but the act of being out there, at the mercy of the water, with nothing but a horizon in front of you. Blackbeard, Anne Bonny, Calico Jack, Mary Read, Black Flag doesn't invent its most colorful characters. It borrows them, wholesale, from history and from the myths that grew up around them almost immediately after they died. Resynced leans further into this, expanding Blackbeard's arc and giving Stede Bonnet an entire new epilogue. The real Golden Age of Piracy has always been half fact and half campfire story. One especially strange real pirate got his own show. It turns out the truth needed almost no embellishment.
Permission to blow them to hell, Captain.
And we're quite certain they're pirates?
Hard to say. One appears to be a heavy-set woman in a silk dressing gown.
Everybody hide!
Our Flag Means Death centers on Stede Bonnet, the real-life gentleman pirate who, by all historical accounts, abandoned a wealthy plantation life in Barbados in 1717 to buy his own ship and sail off with almost no nautical experience whatsoever. The show plays this premise for warm, anachronistic comedy. Rhys Darby's Bonnet reads his crew bedtime stories, obsesses over interior decor, and generally treats piracy as a lifestyle rebrand. But it's startlingly close to the historical record. The real Bonnet really did maintain an onboard library, really did pay his crew a weekly wage almost unheard of among pirates, and really was once described by a contemporary newspaper as walking the deck in his morning gown.
Taika Waititi's Blackbeard, meanwhile, gives the show's version of history the same treatment Black Flag gives its own cast, myth and man blurred together until you can't quite tell which parts are legend. Where Black Flag uses Bonnet mostly as color and comic relief, Our Flag Means Death makes him the entire emotional center, and in doing so captures something true about the era that pure spectacle usually misses. Most of these men were making it up as they went.
By the endgame, Edward's loyalty has quietly relocated. It's not to England, not to the assassins, not even fully to himself anymore. It's to Adewale, to his crew, to the handful of people who stuck with him through every bad decision. Black Flag never announces this shift with a speech. It just lets the losses accumulate until the found family is the only thing left standing. One other pirate story takes that same idea and stretches it across 1,000 chapters without ever letting it go stale.
You're so persistent, brat. We were just having a good time drinking and talking. I didn't say anything to offend you.
One Piece is built entirely around the premise that the crew matters more than the treasure. Monkey D. Luffy doesn't recruit soldiers or specialists, he collects people, each with a wound or a dream he takes personally. And the manga spends over 1,000 chapters proving that loyalty between them outweighs any flag, government, or ideology in the story's world. Zoro joins for the promise of becoming the world's greatest swordsman. Nami joins carrying a decade of trauma she's not ready to talk about. And nobody signs up because it's smart. They sign up because Luffy decided they belonged. And once that decision is made, it doesn't get revisited. Creator Eiichiro Oda has built the entire emotional architecture of the series on that premise. And it shows in the numbers. The manga holds the Guinness World Record for most copies published in a single comic series, over 500 million and counting. It's a much bigger canvas than Black Flag's, but the underlying structure is identical. A captain who accumulates found family as readily as he accumulates enemies, and a story that cares less about the destination than about who's still standing on deck when you get there. Rebuilding a beloved game from scratch is a strange kind of tightrope walk. Change too little and the question of why it exists goes unanswered. Change too much and you alienate the people who showed up for the thing they already loved. Resynced's entire pitch rests on getting that balance right. New engine, new systems, new missions, same soul. It's not the first remake to attempt this high-wire act. One other recent overhaul is widely considered the gold standard for getting it right. Capcom's 2023 remake of Resident Evil 4 didn't just re-render the original in higher resolution. It rebuilt combat, deepened characters who'd been thin caricatures in 2005, expanded Ashley Graham from an escort mission liability into an actual character, and modernized systems while preserving the exact tension and dark comedy that made the 2005 game a landmark. The process wasn't smooth. Capcom originally partnered with outside studio M2, but the two parted ways over creative differences. M2 wanted a faithful remaster, Capcom wanted a full reconstruction, and the game went back in-house. The gamble paid off. Shinji Mikami, director of the original, publicly praised the result, admitting the remake team had taken the half-assed scenario he wrote in 2 weeks and genuinely fleshed it out into something better. By 2026, it had sold over 13.6 million copies. It's the same needle Resynced is threading now. Enough change to justify a second telling, not so much that longtime fans stopped recognizing the story they came back for. Resident Evil 4 proved it's possible to thread that needle cleanly. Whether Resynced pulls it off just as well is exactly what players are now finding out for themselves. Edward Kenway spent 13 years as one of Assassin's Creed's most beloved contradictions, a pirate who stumbled into a war he never asked to join. Resynced isn't just a fresh coat of paint on that story. It's a bet that the ocean, the crew, and the greed-shaped hole at Edward's center are still worth revisiting.